Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to plan in my Classic Happy Planner in my new printed layout daily page that I made. So I have to cut them to Classic Happy Planner size because I printed them on 8.5 by 11 paper. So we're going to do that for the week of the 26th through, 7 days from that. So the first one, I'm going to use Glam Girl Sticker Book and decorate for the 26th. And while I decorate, I'll do my Bible study again. And so these are from last week's reading that I did. I read the Bible, and then this is what stuck out to me. So first one is Mark 4:3. Listen, a farmer went out to plant some seed. As he scattered it across his field, some of the seed fell on a footpath, and the birds came and ate it. Other seed fell in the shallow soil with underlying rock, and the seeds sprouted quickly because the soil was shallow. But the plant soon wilted under the hot sun, and since it didn't have deep roots, it died. Other seed fell among thorns that grew up and choked out the tender plant, so they produced no grain. Still other seeds fell in the fertile soil, and they sprouted, grew, and produced a crop that was 30, 60, and even 100 times as much as had been planted. Then he said, anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. And so that was 3 through 9. And then later in 14, Jesus is talking to them, kind of explaining what this parable means. The farmer plants the seed by taking God's word to others. The seed that fell on the footpath represents those who hear the message, only to have Satan come at once and take it away. The seed on the rocky soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy. But since they don't have deep roots, they don't last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing God's word. The seed that fell among the thorns represents others who hears God's word, but all too quickly the message is crowded out by the worries of this life, the lure of wealth, and the desire for other things, so no fruit is produced. And the seed that fell in the good soil represents those who hear and accept God's word and produce a harvest of 30, 60, or even 100 times as much as has been planted. And I just always really like these verses. It's just a good reminder to make our hearts into soil that can reproduce more seed. So the farmer went out and planted seeds, he put his seed on the soil. And the soil is our hearts. So there's the footpath, which is immediately no. I think of those more like the I guess atheists that just as soon as they hear it, they're just no, that's wrong. Nothing about that is working. And so Satan comes at once and takes it away. And then there's the rocky soil, the people who hear about Jesus, I don't know, revival or something, and then they're yes, I want to accept God, but then as soon as real life happens and there's any sort of pushback, then they're oh, never mind, I don't need that. I don't want to change anything about my life to make it work. And then there's the thorns, which is similar to the rockiness. It's I guess a little bit smaller, so it takes a little bit more time to get pushed out, I guess. They're crowded out by, instead of the big circumstances like persecution or stuff that happens really big stuff, they're pushed out by more just everyday kind of life, the worries of the life, the desire for wealth or other things that just kind of distract us. But it produces thorns instead of more fruit. And then the good soil it accepts God's word and produces harvest. So when I don't know, it's kind of mixing Bible verses, but we are to produce fruit of the Spirit, so we're to produce a harvest that has fruit. So we should see the fruit of the Spirit, but also we're to produce our harvest. And so like the harvest is the seed that was planted. So the farmer planted a seed in our heart, and then we're supposed to produce a harvest 30, 60, or even 100 times as much as was planted. So we had one like seed that grew in our heart for his life, and then we're supposed to go out and multiply that. So more and more soils get to hear about God. And that was really long, a lot. So the 27th, I did garden flowers. That was that sticker book. And now the 28th, I'm using the functional sticker book, which was like a sticker book that came in a Be Happy box. And it's like all black and white. And then I, spoiler alert, will draw on 2 of these boxes, and I'll use the .02 and then .05 size pens of the Micron pens. Okay, and I guess I'll start the next one, which is from Leviticus 10:1, but like the second half. And it said, "In this way they disobeyed the Lord by burning before him the wrong kind of fire, different than he had commanded them." So Aaron's 2 sons, Nadab and Abihu, were like priests because they were sons of Aaron, and God gave them very specific rules on how to do burnt offerings and sin offerings and guilt offerings, and I don't fully understand how all of those are different, but I'm pretty sure they did. Or at least Aaron and the other 2 sons did, because these 2 sons put the wrong kind of fire inside their incense burners, and it just was like, I still don't understand, those sound the same. He put fire inside the incense burner, and he needed fire, but it was like the wrong kind of fire. But I think sometimes we do that in our life too, in that it seems good enough to us. It's like God calls us to do this specific thing, but then we just replace it with something that's close. And Satan tries to use that like close enough, they're the same thing, but they're not, because God's truth is truth. He set the bar where he set it, and it doesn't lower for like almost right, almost true. God has very specific, like all fire is not fire. He wants his specific fire. He needs those specific things, and we don't always know why. Sometimes we do. I don't know why that fire couldn't go inside that fire, but I bet there eventually, if someone like waited long enough, would come out like reasons of like, this is not good for that fire, does this kind of thing, or I don't know. But like, God calls us very specific rules for our benefit, and so when we don't follow them, there are consequences. And then the 29th, I use the Florals Mega sticker book, and almost here. I'm about to get out happy quotes to go with it, just to add in some quotes, because I wanted like a quote sticker right here. I was not finding anything as I look repeatedly through this Flowers Mega sticker book. Yeah, okay, yeah, so we're just using a lot of flower sticker books this week, because I was going alphabetically with my sticker books, and all the flower stickers start with F and close to each other, so we're using them all up and right next to each other, which is fine because flowers are pretty and I enjoy them. So next, for the 30th, we are going to, no, there's no 30th because this is February. For the 1st of March, we're going to use Flowers sticker book. And like I said, I'm getting better at like putting them on in an order that doesn't like hide the functionality of it, but it also is not just like too cluttered or just look like, I don't know, they were just placed on there randomly. Getting better at liking how I put the stickers down, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because the first time I did the big flowers, I didn't really like it, but it's getting better. Yeah, so the next verse that I'm going to do is Mark 4:38 through 40. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" Mm. So it's just like a couple reminders, I guess, in here. And that, like, they asked him, "Jesus, don't you care?" And he obviously cares so much about us, but, like, sometimes it's not showing us the way we want to see it. So, like, sometimes we do that in our lives. Like, "Jesus, don't you care about us because I'm struggling with this financially, or I'm struggling with this emotionally, or I'm going through this hardship." And they were going through that hardship. They were in the boat and it was storming and it was crazy, and Jesus was like sleeping. So they didn't see Jesus reacting the way that they thought that he should be reacting to that level of hardship. But and then we do that too. We don't see Jesus reacting the way that we think that he should be reacting to this hardship to just take care of it for us. Which in this he did. He woke up and he rebuked the wind and the waves. And they, like, that's also just a reminder is that he is powerful enough to stop it all and instantly calm it. So we don't have to be, like, afraid in those situations. Sometimes there's a reason for that situation. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's just, like, bad circumstances are happening. We don't know exactly, but we still should have faith even through those hardships. Because Jesus may or may not come and calm the storm, but he definitely has the power to. But, like, my son, I learned about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and like they said, even if he doesn't, then he is still, that's not what they said, but that even if he doesn't is what they said, but even if he doesn't, then he is still God and powerful and still worthy, and we should still have faith. Yeah, so number 2 here, I'm using Florals, which is like the other sticker book that came with the functional sticker book in that black and white Be Happy box. Okay, and our next verse is in Mark 5:18, 19. And Jesus said, but Jesus said, "Now, no, go home to your family and tell them everything the Lord has done for you and how merciful he has been." And so this guy was just, like, Jesus cast the demon out of him and, like, sent them into the pigs. And he's like, "I want to go with you, Jesus." And Jesus said, "No, you need to go home to your family and tell them about all that God has done for you." So I think that's just a good reminder that, like, sometimes when we get saved, when we first hear about Jesus, we're excited. We're like, "I want to do all the things for Jesus." But Jesus doesn't want us all to just become missionaries and go out in the world and go to all these different countries, when we can go home and tell the people closest to us, tell those people our testimony and how he changed our lives. And the things specifically how he changed our lives, which is basically what I just said. But yeah, so, like, that has a bigger impact sometimes than necessarily going out and being missionaries. And then here for the third, I'm using Floral Memories, which is actually like a big sticker book, so I do a lot of cutting for it, but it works out, and I think it turns out super cute. Okay, and probably my last little Bible study section is Mark 5:33. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what had happened to her, came and fell to her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. So that is like the end of this, close to the end, not the exact end, but the end of the story. This woman, Jesus is like walking to like go heal some other people, and this woman is like seeing Jesus walk by, and she has been dealing with a bleeding problem for like many, many years. And so she's like, "Jesus is walking by, I know he can heal me, let me just like get close enough." And she like touches his robe, and then Jesus feels himself heal someone else, and he's like, "Who touched me?" And then a lot of the disciples are like, "What are you talking about? We're in a like mob of people. Of course people are touching you." And he's like, "No, no, no. Who touched me?" And then that's when this girl is coming, frightened, trembling, because she's now realizing that, like, one, that she is healed, that, like, this is years and years and it's all over, that she's healed, she's finally better, she can go back, she can be with people, she doesn't have to be quarantined anymore. And then, like, two, she didn't really, like, she just went and kind of touched his rope. She didn't really, like, ask for healing. So she's like, I don't know if I need it. Like, I don't know what the consequences of that are going to be. Maybe. So she went up and she just fell at his feet and told him what she had done. But Jesus said that her faith healed her and that she could go in peace and that finally her suffering is over. So, like, yeah, it was just really exciting to look at and see that happen. Yeah, and that's all I got for this video. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll get to be notified when I put out new videos. And hit comment down below any, like, questions, comments, anything that you liked about the video, and comment, subscribe, like the video, please. And yeah, I guess that's all I got. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.